On a summer evening, a father sits on a porch with his child, pointing to fireflies winking in the dusk. He tells a story about a king who wanted to rid his city of snakes. The king's heart was in the right place. He wanted to protect his people from venomous bites. So he offered a reward for every cobra killed. At first, snakes were brought by the basket, but clever villagers soon realized they could breed snakes in secret and deliver them for gold. When the king discovered this unintended scheme, he stopped paying. The villagers, having no use for the snakes, released them into the streets. The city became more infested than before. The child listens, fascinated, and asks, "Why didn't the king know this would happen?" The father answers, "Because he didn't imagine all the ways people might respond." This story introduces the Cobra Effect, a phenomenon where well-meaning solutions backfire. It is a reminder that the world is complex and that human behavior is more unpredictable than we often assume. The psychological insight here is that incentives do not work in isolation. They interact with people's creativity and circumstances. If you see the world only through the lens of your own intentions, you miss the myriad perspectives that others have. Policymakers, parents, teachers, and leaders all fall into this trap when they design rules based on assumptions about how people should behave rather than how they actually do. Philosophy and ethics urge us to look beyond intentions to consequences. A good intention does not guarantee a good outcome. History is full of examples that illustrate this lesson. In colonial Vietnam, French colonists offered a bounty for rat tails to control the population of rodents spreading disease. Citizens began breeding rats for their tails and releasing them back into the sewers. The intended solution worsened the problem. In 19th century India, when British authorities offered rewards for dead cobras, people bred cobras, and when the program ended, they released them. In the 20th century, some states paid for the scalps of certain predators, only to see people breeding the very animals they were trying to eliminate. In modern times, businesses that tie employee pay to metrics like sales numbers can encourage employees to manipulate sales reports or pressure customers, eroding trust. Each example is different, but they share a common thread. When you apply a simple solution to a complex system, you can inadvertently create worse problems. Your personal life is not immune to the Cobra Effect. Perhaps you want to be healthier, so you set rigid dietary rules. The stricter you are, the more you crave forbidden foods. Eventually, you binge, feel guilty, and give up. Your strict plan backfires. Or maybe you want to help a friend in need, so you offer to take over tasks they find difficult. Instead of empowering them, you inadvertently foster dependence. They become less confident, and you become resentful. Similarly, parents who protect children from all frustration might think they are being loving, but the result can be adults who struggle to cope with challenges. When you impose short-term relief without considering long-term growth, you may hurt those you intend to help. The emotional thread of this narration deepens when you examine your own desire to control outcomes. It is natural to want to fix problems quickly. Life's messiness can be uncomfortable. You might think, if only I do this, everything will improve. But life is not a machine with levers. It is more like a garden with interdependent species. Pull one weed too aggressively, and you may uproot a flower. The garden thrives when you understand the relationships among the plants, insects, and soil. Approaching life with humility means acknowledging that your perspective is limited. It means seeking input from others, considering unintended consequences, and being willing to adjust. Instead of imposing a plan, you become a steward, observing and responding thoughtfully. Another layer of the Cobra Effect is the recognition that sometimes what seems like a solution can satisfy your own need to feel useful, rather than addressing the actual problem. You might jump in to solve someone's dilemma because it makes you feel good, not because it is what they truly need. This can be seen in savior complexes, where individuals or organizations impose solutions on communities without understanding local needs. The interventions might look successful on paper, but can disrupt social structures and disempower residents. True help requires listening and collaboration. It requires asking, "What do you need?" instead of saying, "Here's what I'm giving you." The turning point is accepting that you will make mistakes. No matter how thoughtful you are, there will be times when your intentions lead to unintended outcomes. Perhaps you will offer advice that backfires or support a policy that has side effects. This is part of being human. The key is to remain open to feedback, to learn, and to adjust. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to defend your idea because your intentions were good. Instead, explore how to improve. A growth mindset allows you to pivot rather than double down. It turns failures into teachers rather than proof of incompetence. In the final reflection, the father and child finish their conversation on the porch. Fireflies still dance, and the night hums with life. The father tells his child, "The world is full of mysteries. When you want to fix something, remember to listen, to learn, and to expect surprises. Your heart may be in the right place, but wisdom comes from seeing the whole picture." The child nods, and they sit quietly, watching the fireflies. The story of the Cobra Effect is not meant to discourage you from acting, but to encourage you to act with humility, curiosity, and compassion. It invites you to consider not just what you intend, but what might unfold.